Our environment has deteriorated significantly over the last few decades as a result of the use of fossil fuels. A few of the issues affecting our environment are global warming, climate change, loss of wildlife species, ozone layer depletion, and an increase in air pollution. Finding credible global warming evidence to urge action could be a difficult undertaking for anyone. As a result of human activity, global warming is the considerable rise in Earth's climate temperature over a relatively short period of time. Global warming would specifically be defined as an increase of 1 or more degrees Celsius over a period of 100 to 200 years. Even a small increase of 0.4 degrees Celsius over a century would be substantial. We are discussing the causes and impact of global warming today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you like it. The increase in the Earth's average surface temperature brought on by greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and methane is known as global warming. For human life to exist on Earth, these gases are necessary. However, the excessive emission of these gases is what is causing global warming. The atmosphere will continue to contain emissions like carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, and other greenhouse gases for many years, making it hard to completely stop global warming for several decades. Sea levels would increase by 7 to 23 inches by the end of the century as a result of global warming, according to the IPCC 2007 report. The average temperature has increased by 1.4 degrees Fahrenheit since 1880. Climate research indicates that the last 2 decades of the 20th century were the warmest in the previous 400 years. One of the regions most impacted by global warming is the Arctic. The average temperature in Alaska, Western Canada, and Russia has increased at a rate twice as fast as the global average, according to a study on the multinational Arctic Climate Impact Assessment produced between 2000 and 2004. The ice in the Arctic is melting quickly. The area is anticipated to have an entirely ice-free summer by 2040 or even sooner. In contrast to the 150 glaciers that existed there in 1910, there are now just 25 glaciers in the Montana Glacier National Park. The worst bleaching and highest death rates for coral reefs since 1980 are being caused by global warming and pollutants. The effects of global warming, which are producing extreme weather changes, have been seen globally in the form of forest fires, heat waves, and powerful tropical storms. Due to the pollution caused by industrialization, pollution, and deforestation, the amount of water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and other greenhouse gases has significantly increased. More carbon dioxide is being released into the atmosphere by people than it is being taken up by plants and oceans. More than the previous 2,000 years combined, the last 100 years have seen an increase in sea levels of around 7 inches. The lives of those who live near coastal areas may be at danger due to the rising sea levels brought on by global warming. Many cities throughout the world are situated close to such hazardous coastal zones, and some 100 million people live in places that are only 3 feet above sea level. Sea levels will rise as a result of glacier melting, but it will also lead to water shortages in communities that rely on natural water supplies. As a result of acidic oceans, diminishing habitats, declining ecosystems, and other effects of global warming, more than 1 million species have gone extinct. The ocean's conveyor belt will completely change due to global warming, resulting in a mini ice age in Europe. More greenhouse gases, methane, and water evaporation will be released as temperatures rise. Until the 2011 records, 1,000 tons of carbon dioxide per second were being released into the atmosphere. The 20th century saw the highest amounts of carbon dioxide in 650,000 years. Up to 1950, the levels increased by 11%, and most recently, they increased by 40%. The Industrial Revolution led to the widespread use of burning fossil fuels including coal, oil, and gas. This led to a rise in greenhouse gases and a significant number of deaths from asthma and other respiratory illnesses. About 37 billion metric tons of carbon dioxide are released annually by human activity. The concentration of carbon dioxide on Earth has increased by 34% since the Industrial Revolution in 1700. The average temperature will increase by 5.8 degrees by the year 2100 as a result of global warming. The 21st century has had at least one year that is among the 14 hottest years since 1880. The United States has consumed 80% of its energy from fossil fuels on average during the past 30 years. The most harmful contributors to global warming are fossil fuels. Deaths from heat-related causes will increase by 150,000 between 2000 and 2100. Colder regions of the planet are becoming hotter due to global warming, making them more susceptible to disease. Failure to stop global warming could result in a severe economic collapse that would cost 20% of the world's domestic output to repair. Among the repercussions of global warming include droughts, hurricanes, wildfires, the loss of endangered species, the melting of the polar ice caps, and storms. The atmosphere's concentration of heat-trapping gases has been rising alarmingly. These gases are widely distributed, which has increased the greenhouse impact. Global warming-related heatwaves are to blame for several heat-related illnesses and fatalities. The effects of global warming on wildlife put their lives in danger and can cause severe food and water shortages. Despite making up only approximately 4% of the global population, America is shockingly responsible for 25% of all carbon dioxide emissions. China, however, has assumed the top spot recently by emitting 28% of all carbon dioxide. They are the leading contributor as a result. Global warming is now widely acknowledged to be the greatest latent threat to human health in the 21st century. From the young to the old, from the rich to the destitute, it is a problem that impacts everyone. All of this indicates that the death rates would significantly increase globally as a result of this. According to a 2015 study, the rate at which vertebrate species are going extinct is 114 times higher than it should be. If the situations are not under control as soon as possible, they could get worse. Also affected by global warming are air pollution levels. The ground level of ozone rises sharply along with the conditions' mean temperature. This ozone is a substantial contributor to the pollution. If global warming levels are not immediately reduced, the expenses associated with natural disasters will continue to soar. A brief investigation into the matter will improve our comprehension. The average cost was $5.2 billion from 1980 to 2011. Now, the average cost was $10.8 billion between 2011 and 2015. It will be incredibly difficult to stop the planet from collapsing due to global warming if these statistics do not shock you. Many institutions, schools, groups, governments, etc., are working to persuade people to take actions that would stop them from doing anything that might contribute to global warming. However, having empathy for the issue and being completely aware of the circumstance are the most crucial factors to take into account.